Hi everybody, I'm Rob. I'm making this video as just on the section in this article I'm writing, right? And the section is about what the most profitable carpentry or woodworking businesses do, which are the ones that do the following things correctly that makes them profitable, okay? So this section in this video is not exactly part, well, it is part of, but doesn't answer the exact question, which is the most profitable woodworking business. You can look at that question of the article as an overall, it's like who out there is making the money, but I am also showing you what you need to do to make your own business profitable. Now, this video, to be very honest, let me be straight up and tell you what I'm up to. We'll answer your questions. I'm going to do that for you. But at the same time, I needed to have a presence on YouTube so that you will find this video there, click through from YouTube to get the entire article, right? And at the same time, get any of the benefits, bonuses, etc., things that are all on my website. Now, let's get straight into this. So this is this section explained that it is about this, right? So to be profitable in your woodworking business, most of these factors will work whether you're a big business, and I'm talking like, 200 employees, or if you're a single employee. But obviously some of them work differently as you go down. So the bigger you get, once you past 5 or 10 employees, management itself, time, treating your staff well, making sure everybody can do what they can do, the best people on the best jobs, and then all the rest of these systems will obviously all work for what you're doing now. My entire life in business with crafting and or woodworking has always been research your best sellers. It doesn't help if you're making a product that you have to literally churn out. They take 2 hours to make and your profit's $20, to the point where you literally have to find the most efficient production line to be able to make a living. For me, that's not the best idea. You need to keep working at your product and researching it until you find one that you cannot make them fast enough. People will always be there to buy them, and then make sure that that product is one that is easy to put into a production line system. So a lot of people like the cutting boards that people make, and lately all of the laser cutter people, they're all doing mass production because it's easy enough if a machine is cutting it for you, the laser cutters, for example, etc. So I'm going to go through all of those things for you here. So, but as long as you know you've got a bestseller, streamlining your efficiency after that will becomes everything. Obviously, in your research, you need to find one that can be streamlined. So, in any manufacturing process, the time it takes you to build it will obviously be hugely important in your profits. At the same time, if you can mass produce components of that item and then pack them to one side, and then have other people assembling, that's when you just have to look at people like IKEA. I go into their store and shake my head thinking, how the hell can they even buy the wood? My price of the wood would be more than what they're selling it for. But they're buying in such bulk, and they are so efficient in their manufacturing systems, and a huge amount of it is so automated. Cutters and automated, I can't think of the word, that's bad. Hell, I've known the word since 1980 something. But anyway, so machinery that literally cuts and boom, chink, boom, chink, boom, chink, piece after piece, and that's how IKEA people do that. Now, you have to kind of get back to a system like that if you're a one-man business, if you can. Okay, so planning time, minimize your planning time, your selling time. Everything needs to be, by the way, I probably do tell you, yes I do, so that's cool. Keep to a single product line. Part of the minimizing everything is having a system built and set up that works for you automatically. So, for example, I've worked through craft markets a lot of the time in my past, But you can get to a point when your craft markets have built you up a word of mouth system that works, and then you spend less time on the markets, and by then you literally, your phone's ringing. Hi, you're the guy who makes X. Yeah. Do you have any yes or no? And you keep going with that, right? Another thing to do with profit is to keep an eye on trends. Time and again, people will stick to things like, let me give you an example. A labor of love is making kids' toys, little wooden toys. I've known crafters on the markets for years that go home and produce tractors and things, one after the other, and that's lovely. But it's almost impossible to mass produce those, turn them out. Every single piece is cut by hand, well, most of the time by hand. To be honest, if you did put them through laser cutters, you might be able to, and then they start to become, well, boring. But at the same time, other things are always going to be trendy. So in fact, it can't hurt to not only keep an eye on Google Trends, but keep an eye on the social media that counts, which would be Pinterest, and then your actual keywords. If you really want to do research on the trending, make notes of the numbers of keywords, the number of people with products, the number of sales a single place on Etsy is doing, those kind of things. Okay, so next thing is keeping to a single product line. Now, I'm so useless at that. You've got no idea how hard it is for me. I'm just forever thinking, I want to make one of those, and then I waste weeks putting together a prototype. I just finished a hammock stand that's probably taken me 2 months to build, if not 3 months. Now, that speed, I'm really going to battle to make a living. And I was laughing, I'm going to take photos today, in fact, it's ready, and run an ad. And then I'm thinking, I hope I don't have to take 3 months to make each one, ha. But the secret in this case is to commit a client with a deposit, use the deposit to purchase the wood, and then literally stockpile the components, so that at some point, if it were my main business, I don't plan it to be, which is amusing because I've made it and I'm marketing it. But at some point, if that's what I was doing all day, I would literally spend a week cutting up components and then only putting that single product line out, just the hammock stands. And so that's the best way to do it. Right, so I've made a note here of factories that are prepared to go where others don't want to go. Long ago back in South Africa, a good friend of mine was doing curved doors on kitchen cupboards, and he went on to do very, very well because he was doing an offering and getting buyers excited about a product that they couldn't buy anywhere else. And so immediately they've fallen in love with the concept of a curved door or a curved cupboard door. It needn't even be, it could be just curved islands that you've got a jig for. You don't have to, whatever it is. In fact, to what I was just speaking about, is a huge amount of the hammock stands have that curved, huge, upward facing C. So basically it's 3 curved pieces bolted together strong enough, and you've got a hammock stand. And if you've got the machinery to do that, the mold or the jig, it's really easy to do. If you don't have it, well, you've got a problem. So you have to do it my way with 150 little pieces of wood all making up the same thing. So your initial layout with going the extra mile with jigs and things is good, and then after that you can do stuff that's really cool, egg chairs and weird things. Okay, so now we get to one that for me, I think I've actually said this, I haven't stated in this article why. It says the quality of your tools is a massive part of profits. I pitched up here in Canada 3 years ago, lived through COVID, and then meaning lockdown, and only kind of am getting started in the last year or so. I've made a lot of stuff in the last 2 years, but the business is only starting to run now. Point is that I arrived here with a suitcase, so I had no tools, and I've had to make something and sell it, to buy a tool to make it and sell it and buy the next tool. And some tools I'm burning through. Grinders don't seem to last. Palm sanders don't seem to last. And it's okay because I'm still buying the cheapest one at the time. And I understand that it's my bad. So at some point you need to have the finest quality product, saws, band saws, whatever it is, planers that are out there with the best blades and saw blades and quality sandpaper, whatever it is. It will be a huge thing to make your life a little bit less, well, let's go with irritating if things work. Right, so that's pretty much all I wanted to cover, was the most profitable ones, what to do to make yourself profitable business. This video should be enough. I encourage you to click the link to go through to this, what you will see this by then on a website. If you found me on YouTube, I'm also going to be using all sorts of social media, so you might have found me somewhere, anywhere, and welcome, and come along and let's make your woodworking business a good thing for you, something that you're happy to do, is profitable, and makes your life every day good. Thanks for your time. Take care. Cheers.